So yeah, what were we talking about again?
Cold opens.
Oh man, cold open. So this is the first cold open of What You Think, the Midwest Paranormal Podcast. I'm Tyler, here with Isaac Sagafis, who's scared of his own toothbrush.
Hello, I don't brush my teeth.
Josh Quinn.
I think Isaac should probably start brushing his teeth.
We can smell his breath from here. And Jason Smith.
I've only gotten confused for Harry Potter like 8 times.
Is that real?
I think so.
Yeah, that's
Goddamn.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So
Who's Harry Potter?
every week, we'll bring you a new paranormal story. A lot of these we are bringing from our own library. So this topic Jason's going to talk about today, he's actually seen, which I think is nuts because I don't think this is a normal thing in an area, but I guess in the UP, they do things a little differently than us. So Jason, take her away.
Well, like, being the one host here that is from the UP, I just kind of figured this was like, something that you just kind of see out there in the woods. Like, apparently talking to these guys, they've never seen anything like it before and find it a little bit strange.
So the craziest thing about this too is he talked like this was just a normal thing that you go see as a kid.
Yeah, he was telling us about this before.
Yeah, he said it's like going to the county fair or like a petting zoo. Like it's just something that happens when you're a child.
It's like, oh yeah, you just go do it. Like we poke dead hobos with a stick back home, but nothing like this.
you have a little bit of free time and it's like getting to be about 9 o'clock, sun's starting to go down and you just got nothing better to do. Like, you just drive 30 miles west on US 2, cut north when you're driving by the casino and turn off some old logging road and all of a sudden there it is, a couple lights.
So your problem there is you didn't go to the casino.
Back in the day in high school, not quite 18, couldn't go to the, wasn't easy to get into the casino. Nowadays, if I go back home, just swing right in and lose a couple $100.
Carry on, I was just on mute.
But anyways, so once you're kind of heading north of Waters Meet, home of the Nimrods.
Go on.
For which part?
Yes.
Please explain to the listeners what a Nimrod is.
Because most people don't know what it is.
Okay. Is that most people, you guys too? Or
I know what a Nimrod is.
We watched Bugs Bunny when we were kids.
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah.
All right. So
I read the Bible.
High school in that area is... Oh, Tyler's got to sneeze again.
Carry on. You can... I turned his mic off. As soon as I unmute it, he'll sneeze. But
I know, but
go
I
ahead.
get distracted.
Oh, yeah. Quick distracting them.
All right. Anyways, back in the mid-2000s, their basketball team went on a bit of a run, earning a little bit of some, views from ESPN. And people, had a bunch of things where they had their tagline, "Without sports, who would cheer for the Nimrods?" Those who don't know, Nimrods are some biblical hunters who were, described as mighty hunter before the Lord, grandson of Noah, really ties into the, great north woods of the Ottawa National Forest up there for what that town is.
I mean, we have some really good mascots in the Midwest. We have the Freeport Pretzels. There's that town in northern Wisconsin that it's the Fighting Midgets.
Oh, Hurley Midgets.
Hurley Midgets. There we go. So yeah, I mean, the Nimrods fit right in.
They were in our conference in football.
Nothing's worse than losing to the midgets.
Didn't happen too often. Let's just say that.
They're very good in short yard situations.
How does their mascot costume work? Does some guy just walk around on his knees?
Third graders.
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
But anyways, north of Waters Meet, it's a very small town called Paulding. Probably about probably 100, 200 people up there. There's a nice little general store, go get a sandwich, ice cream, the works. Really neat place. But as you're kind of going north on 45, there's a little turn-off logging road. If you go a little bit further down that, you'll see a nice area where you can just kind of pull off to the side of the road. National Forest even has a sign there, just kind of declaring the site for the Paulding Light.
So they're there's tourists that come just to see this.
Yes.
From how far? National, just state, worldwide? What are we talking?
It's a little all the above. They were actually kind of I think in about 2010, students from my own college, Michigan Tech, came down and actually brought some instrumentation, telescopes, and the works to like go in and kind of like see like what the cause of this phenomena is.
But say people go there, are they going to see like tour buses of people there, or is it more small time?
It's pretty small time, just, a couple cars lined up on this like logging road.
But the state's recognizing it. They're even putting signs up for it.
It's a national forest, recognized.
Federal.
So.
The Ottawa National Forest. It's federal.
So the federal government has acknowledged the existence of this light.
Yeah, I think they're just acknowledging the existence of Michigan.
The same. Hey, Michigan is real.
Well, says the parks.
TBD.
No, we have yet to see it.
What kind of state is in two pieces?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Anyways, the same.
Okay.
The sign also like gives a little bit of like a rundown on like, the most common story of what the light is, but it also says don't litter and has a little Casper the Ghost on it, which is like always like kind of nice.
I do like Casper.
That was a good movie.
But anyways, this light, the Paulding Light, also known as like the Dog Meadow Lights, is like another name for it. It's kind of like been seen in that area as you kind of like come up that logging road. There's a guardrail at the end of the road and then kind of a sharp ravine where like the old US highway like 45 used to go, a bridge washed out, and then they just kind of like built around it as they like added more lanes in the works. So like as you're kind of like going through there, come up to the guardrail and like pull off. If you start getting around there around like the evening, you might actually end up like seeing this light, or you will end up seeing it. Every time that I've gone there, I've seen it. Basically, anytime it's like a clear day, the light is there. Like
that's just like it's an everyday phenomenon.
It has to be at night.
Like twilight. Like I've been there during the day before.
During the day, it's probably still there potentially.
Exactly. It's just not that bright.
How many lumens would you say it is? Is it brighter than a light in a house?
Like one of those like hipster Edison light bulbs that like just aren't very bright.
They're just glowing.
So it's incandescent is what you're saying.
Josh has 3 of them. Josh has 3 of them in his house. So you just called him a hipster.
He does have like the hipster beard thing going on. I've seen him wear some flannels.
I saw him drinking IPA once.
And he's wearing a Hard Rock shirt.
I have one of those too.
Oh. I found the lamp in the dumpster.
That's the most hipster thing you could ever do.
That's actually...
He's not beating the hipster allegations today.
Yeah.
So you're saying you can see this light every night if you go up there, and there's not just a big line of people, or is there?
It depends on the night. So like sometimes like where I've gone and like, there might be like 1 or 2 cars, just like a couple people out there might just be like watching it. Other times you go, usually like weekends or summers when there's like more tourists in the area, like you could see like 20, 30 cars, people bringing their kids, family, the whole 9 yards, people with binoculars just hoping to see the light.
So there's a random light that's just bouncing around. Is it near power lines? Like what's going on there?
So there are some power lines that do go through the valley, and like it does bounce around near them. But sometimes it's been seen to kind of like come up closer to like the guardrails within like, 20 yards, if not closer.
I swear, I mean, earlier in a different outtake, I said this was like Ghostbusters. Was this not in like some movie?
No, this is definitely like the light moving through the library in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Like in the first ghost they find where it's just kind of like floating through the bookshelf.
So it's most comparable to that, Jason, or what would you say? Is it like ball lightning? What do you think it is?
Yeah, but he said it's not that bright, though.
Yeah, it's not super bright, but it can be. Like, it does change in intensity. It changes colors from, like, white to yellow, red, green.
Are there videos of this?
Yes. You go on, like, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever.
So we'll probably post a link to that once we get this uploaded.
Up all night.
Yeah. Isaac gets very scared and can't sleep when he looks up crazy stuff.
Don't talk about any stuff anymore.
It's definitely like on the short list of like, I'm a huge proponent of like the Western UP. I can give out tons of recommendations on places to check out and visit. And like, if you're ever camping around the area and just like have like a night where you can kind of like go out, drive over.
I don't think I'd want to see that if I was camping.
You said he can make a lot of recommendations about crazy, scary places or pretty places. What are you talking about?
Little column A, little column B.
Really?
And
those will be different episodes. Let's not spill all the beans here.
I don't think, people are listening for Jason's tourist recommendations either, but like
maybe if you drank more of that pickle beer, I might listen to you a little more.
So like, what's the closest you or anybody you've has like gotten to the light?
So I think I've seen it within at least like 40, 50 yards, give or take. I brought friends there too, can kind of like testify for the same thing. Family members have gone there as well. Like, my mom worked for the Forest Service and was stationed out of like Kenton in the 80s. She's seen it tons of times as well. This has basically been like routinely documented since about like, I think 1966 is where like it was first reported in like an official like sheriff's like.
So the police reported it first.
Well,
or people knew about it and then the police went and checked it out.
Yeah, the first official like kind of like a documented like sighting of it was like there were like teenagers in the area who reported it to a sheriff. Like it had been like talked about or like kind of like word of mouth before that, but that is like on record the first time it had been seen.
Because this is just like off of a logging road in the UP.
Yes.
So there's not really any like normal civilization that would be close to here, really.
So, I mean, is there like a Indian burial ground or is there any sort of background on this place?
I mean, like there is like the Lockbutte is there like reservation that it's like good couple miles south of there. So like I can't really say about that particular area itself. Like one of the kind of like common stories like that is kind of like accepted is that, it's kind of like the ghost of a Native American dancing along the power lines is kind of like a weird thing, which seems like a very weird like mix if you ask me, where it's like you have like, old school Native Americans and power lines. You don't really get why they'd be dancing on it, but like,
Yeah, they didn't have that.
exactly.
But,
like that's kind of goofy.
Has anybody ever been like hurt around it?
Yeah, so like when you walk, if you got close to it, does it make your hair stand up or anything like static would do?
Like,
or
I haven't seen a ton of things as far as like that, but you can definitely feel like temperature drops like around the area.
Temperature drops.
Yes. Like all of a sudden, like, it can be
that's a ghost.
or like the wind kind of like either like starting to like really like just
That's a ghost, baby.
stop almost like mid breeze and everything like that. And it's like not, and like the temp drops are like just not really like the same temp drops that you would expect if you're just like, going down a hill by like a creek or something. Like it's more dramatic than that.
Just like, so how big is the ball? Like how big around have you seen it? Like if you had to judge.
Me seeing it, it's been fairly small the times that I've seen it. Like what I could imagine would be like a very like fluorescent, like, I don't know, maybe like softball or bowling ball, like somewhere in that size. It's kind of hard to judge when it's like, 50 yards out, but.
So it's not like, because like I'm imagining like you can tell how big a pumpkin is sitting on a jack-o'-lantern sitting on a stoop, like how far away you are. So like, what are we talking here? It's not like a prize-winning county fair pumpkin. It's just like,
I think he said softball to bowling ball size.
Well, it changes a lot, like depending on like when you see it and whatever. Like that's just personally what I've seen. People have like, described it like changing in size and everything, like changing colors, distance, like how quick it's moving.
Has anyone ever tried to shoot it?
Yes, actually they have.
Whoa!
That's cool.
America!
There have been stories about that happening as well, and like, nothing really happening. It's really interesting. Like,
so I guess, are people studying? If this is something that happens every night, you think people would be studying this in some way?
Seriously,
Yeah.
if I lived there, I'd be there every night.
Yeah.
Shooting it, probably.
so like there were like students, and I believe like some of the study was like headed by like a professor of like electrical engineering up at Tech, and like where, like I was saying, they brought in a bunch of like different instrumentation and like binoculars, telescopes, and the works. I'm not really sold on what they said the explanation was, just as like having seen it myself and knowing some of the area. After a lot of like their analysis, and if you like pull up like a, just look it up on Google with like the direction of the road and like some of the geography of the area, they're basically sold that it is like kind of like a mirage or like refractions of like headlights and taillights of US 45. But like, I'm personally not very sold on that because, like, one, like, it's a very rural area. It's not like there's a ton of traffic going down that road.
I think they could test that by shooting cannons filled with stuff.
Was like,
Huh?
Was US 45 like well traveled back in 66 when this was first reported?
I mean, it's still not super well traveled now. It's
Josh,
very
where would
rural
people be
highway.
going up there?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I know Aunt Noggin is a real
Like, I'm just
banger
saying, if you
town.
filled a cannon with glitter, You could test the refractions. If you filled it with some sort of metal, you could see if it's some sort of magnetic field thing. You know what I mean?
I
Or
guess
you could just shoot a cannonball.
the other thing I'm thinking of, you said you saw it during the day. So how would that be taillights if it's in the middle of the day?
Well, I didn't see it during the day. Like I've seen it like during like early twilight. I had been there during the day.
Okay.
However, I did not see it. I don't know if that's just because like it could have been dimmer and it's a very like bright, beautiful like UP summer day. But when I had driven out there, like I had like gotten to like down the logging road, whipped a UE because like, I don't want to have to do some like 3-point turn later when I'm leaving. I'm just like going around there hiking the area. Once I go down there, nothing really looks too crazy. Like it's just kind of like, nice summer day, breezy, not too buggy. You love days like that up in the UP. I get back to my car, kind of like turn the key a few times and see like charging system failure, like on the dash. I'm like, what? Like
So it's some kind of electrical field.
There's
thing.
some sort of anomaly going on.
Yeah. And it's like, ended up like burning out like the alternator and like I'm just like I had like no problems before getting there.
You said it's a logging road?
Yes.
There's no like quarries or anything near there?
Nope.
But what if it's all the copper in the ground?
Yeah.
Charging the Uperite
What if
and creating a
Wait a minute.
fluorescence.
I'm gonna stop you right there. This is iron country, not copper country.
Wait,
Oh,
I got a brainstorm and I'm a smart fella.
More like
Man
a
speak.
Barth Smello.
Oh, that's what my grandpa always said to me. What if, hear me out, the reason that we've always fought for the UP to be part of us, they're our battery. They're charging us. Huh?
He makes a good point.
Sure, Isaac. They're
Okay.
our battery.
I'm going to have more pickle beer now, babe.
I'm sure we could find some like crystal girly to tell us like how hematites like really good for like the vibes and everything. Like if you are one, reach out, let us know. We want to hear all the details.
Why is he talking about hemorrhoids now?
Hematite.
Hematite. It's
Oh.
Hematite?
it's iron.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you're also a crystal girl, Isaac's single, so send him your bush. Pictures of your bush, not your bush in the mail. That would be weird.
You talking about the private part bush?
No, we
kind of
want to
bush?
see your garden.
Bush.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm
Plant a
also
bush in
single
the
and
ground.
I will accept your front yard bush.
Yeah, but you ain't no gardener.
Not
like
your
I am.
backyard bush, though.
So, back to this. I guess, what do you guys think? Jason, you've seen it the most. What do you think about it?
There is like one other explanation. Like there is kind of the, like I said, like I'm not a huge believer in the taillights, headlights, all that, mostly because like there's not that much traffic on there, especially for it to show up so consistently. There are legends, however, about like when railways were going through that area, like, there was like a brakeman who was like kind of like going around trying to signal trains to stop and like got crushed in between like some of like two different like cars. And like it's kind of like been his light that's been kind of like in that valley.
There's still train tracks there,
Not anymore.
but that's where they were.
Mm-hmm. Because like lots of like logging and mining in that area historically, easiest way to bring it all out is just trains.
How far of a drive is it from here?
From here, probably like 4.5 hours.
Tyler, can we go on a road trip?
We can go see this tonight. Like, we can get in the car right now.
We've had a couple too many beers, I think, to drive up there
If
tonight.
people could see what's on this table right now,
So, Isaac, I guess, what do you think this is?
I think it's some kind of electrical field thing, don't you? I mean, I ain't no physicist or nothing, but the fact it's there every night, that's kind of tells me there's something.
And like
And you're having car issues when you're there.
Yeah, like I said, I had to get like my buddy's dad to tow me out basically. Like, and that was not a, being in the middle of like BFE. Like it was not like a quick tow.
How about you, Josh? What do you think?
I mean, it has a pretty consistent pattern. There's local legend that like it could either be a Native American ghost or a train conductor. With the temperature changes and the electrical interference, I think it's pretty easy to point this to some sort of repeated paranormal experience, especially because we're just getting the excuse of, oh, it's taillights from a highway that's miles and miles away. And I am currently seeing a picture of it.
Jason's showing us pictures. It
is.
basically looks like the moon. Oh, that one's literally on a power line.
That one is literally on it. He does dance on the power lines. They were not lying.
And like I just want to say like the federal like sign and everything does like have the Casper ghost.
They
Is that
literally
Casper?
tell you there's
Jason,
a ghost there.
that looks really bright.
Casper is a federal agent.
And
Yeah. So I guess what I think it has to do with all the iron in the mountain or the river up in the UP. Skinwalker Ranch, they say a lot of the anomalies happening there has to do with a lot of the iron in the, or ferrous metal in
hence
the
Iron Mountain, iron everything
yeah.
up there.
I think there's just something going on with the magnetic field, whether or not it's paranormal. I mean, who knows? Maybe the veil is a little
could be a little thin in
little
that
thin there, yeah. But I mean, I think it's probably something to do with that. But I definitely think it's something real. We saw the pictures of it. Jason have seen it.
I don't
so
think it's not real.
it's just one of those weird things that why aren't we spending our tax dollars on this?
Seriously, yeah.
Why are we not funding this?
Tony Evers, you're not the governor of Michigan, but you shouldn't be, I guess, either. You should fund this, though, buddy. Let's go.
Buy us some more pickle beer.
We have a surplus. We can research this.
So we want to thank everybody for listening to this episode. I am Tyler. There's Isaac.
Hello, I'm Isaac.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Josh.
This is What You Think.